Hey there, it's Lydia Desnoyers, your favorite CPA and business advisor, here to share my top 5 tips when working with a virtual assistant. Now, I for one have a virtual assistant and she is phenomenal. And there is a growing number of organizations that are using virtual assistants instead of the traditional in-office assistant role. But not everyone is having success with their VAs. So here are my top 5 tips. Tip number 1, treat the hiring process just as you would if you're hiring somebody for an in-office position. That means make sure there's an interview process, and when you're creating the job description, make sure you're clear about the kind of person that would fit into the culture of your organization, just as you would with somebody that you see on a daily basis walking the hallways. Tip number 2, during the interview process, allow them to ask you questions. It's a two-way street. The same way you're asking questions to make sure they are a right fit for your organization, you should encourage them to ask questions to make sure that you are a right fit for them. And also, the questions they ask are just as telling as the answers they provide to your questions. Tip number 3, understand their career goals and expose them to tasks and assignments that are aligned with their goals. Now, it doesn't mean that you're always going to have tasks that are aligned with their goals or that you only assign them things that are aligned with their goals. But showing interest and concern for their career goals is a sure way to get loyalty to your organization and commitment and excitement from your VA when they're completing their work. Tip number 4, allow them to do things their way and you just focus on the output. Yes, you may be accustomed to doing things a certain way and been doing it that way for so long, but allowing them to do it their way, one, can expose you to a new way of doing something that may be more efficient, and 2, gives them the confidence knowing that you trust them to do their work. And yes, they may make a mistake. That's okay. Sometimes that's the best way to learn. The key is for you to monitor and make sure that they are learning from those mistakes and making less of them as time goes by. Tip number 5, and this is critical. You want to make sure that your objectives and timelines are clearly communicated. In fact, I encourage you to have consistent meetings where you communicate objectives and the timelines. That way everybody's clear on their responsibilities and things do not fall through the cracks. Those are my top 5 tips. Now go ahead and delegate like a boss.